Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. It is official. Kaizer Chiefs has signed Lollipop, Taba, and Tashi Morris. It has been announced, but we're hoping, a lot of us are hoping there's still one more exciting signing coming. We are praying for that. Who is the next signing? Because there's people who are suggesting that Chiefs is still trying to get one more signing. A lot of people are thinking that it could be Lorch Lorch, even though a lot of fans don't really like that idea of Lorch because we know he has off the field problems, and we are already dealing with Gaston Sereno. So Lorch has a lot of, hey, you know what? Before I get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe. So the thing about Lorch that I think has been worrying a lot of people is that Lorch has off the field problems. He is turning 32 this year, and we don't want to find ourselves as a team struggling with another aging team, struggling with players who are getting injured. If our best players are old and our best players are getting injured, and two of those best players tend to have off the field issues, which is if Sereno continues having his off the field issues and now Lorch comes and he has off the field issues, then we're gonna go into games players short. That's why a lot of Chiefs fans preferred if we had signed Apolis, because Apolis does not have off the field issues. And the other thing that's nice about Apolis is that he's young. He's about 23 years old. So you kind of know that with Apolis, you have a young player. You have a player that does not have off the field issues. And you just have a future with him, and he doesn't have injury problems. So I get where Chiefs fans are saying, where they say Chiefs management tends to take the shortcut road to getting talent, because we tend to buy people who are on the wrong side of 25. Because let's look at the current three players we've bought currently. The current three players we've bought currently: Morris is 30, Lollipop is going to be 28 this year, Taba is 28 this year. These guys are going to bring very good experience, we agree, but if our attacking players, and when I say attacking, I mean our wingers, are all players who are old, then when are we going to get an exciting winger, exciting young talent coming through? Because we have to be honest, Mdu Shabalala is a 10, he's not a winger. Duba is not a winger. The only person who is kind of a winger is Umfundo Vilakazi. But Umfundo Vilakazi, even at times, it feels like he's playing out of position sometimes, because you need Umfundo more in the middle so he can cook a bit more, because he trusts himself. But anyway, what I'm getting at is that that Lorch issue, we need to see what comes of it if we do sign him, but then we will see what happens there. But let's talk about the players that we did sign. Taba, he's 28, he's played in so many places. He has never played in South Africa. I believe he went through the Kaizer Academy and went into Portugal, because the Kaizer Academy used to take young players to Portugal. And when they used to take young players to Portugal, these guys used to find like third division teams, etc. And it was a similar journey that George Matlow had. George Matlow actually had a very similar journey. Even Tito Maswangai had the same journey, going to like the likes of Portugal and stuff like that. And then, but the thing about Tabo actually has always believed he can make it overseas. So when he would get South African interest, he would turn it down for other Europe countries, because he always believed that he can make it. And that's the kind of belief you want to see a player having. So having him back at a young age and still having this kind of hunger where he believes he can really make an effort is a good thing. I like it. I like that mentality where you want to compete with the best. And that's Tabo. Tabo wants to compete. And that's one thing that I feel like a lot of people will see. I have watched Tabo play with our under-23s, go to the Olympics. I believe even there was a time I think he was playing with our under-20s. I think there was a time they went to a World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe I'm mistaking it with the Olympics. But he was that Europe boy who was playing alongside Tebogo Mokoena, and he was holding his own, which is one thing I like. Meaning, when Thabo Cele comes to South Africa, he's going to come up against players that he played with. He knows about Tebogo Mokoena, about Sipho Mbule. He knows these guys. So I don't think he even fears these guys. So that's a good thing. So Thabo Cele is actually my signing of the window. I think he's the best signing in the window, even though I did say in my previous video that there's still a lot he has to prove, because in terms of what he brings to the table, I have watched him in a lot of games in the past. I think he even played a Kosafa, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a lot that it wasn't looking like he was. The best way I can put it is that he has not progressed in his development the way everyone expected him. The funny thing is, everyone expected Thabo Cele to be better than Tebogo Mokoena. That is the truth. That is the truth. Everyone expected him to be better. He was in Portugal. He was making waves in Portugal. And everyone thought he was going to be 10 times better than Tebogo Mokoena. But for whatever reason, that thing didn't pan out. And now Tebogo Mokoena feels like he's 3 steps ahead of him. So let's see what happens there. And then Lollipop, we need to get this guy's name. Maccabi Lilipo. He is joined as well. I think he signed a 2.5-year deal. He's going to be a winger. He's not very known to us. People have been talking about him from YouTube videos and stuff like that. But you know what? Let's see for ourselves, because I think I'm going with that. He's 28. Let's see for ourselves. And the one thing I wanted to say about the YouTube videos is that one thing I've picked up about African teams and leagues is that our highlights for these players are from like the DRC and stuff are often if they've played Champions League, CAF Confederation, or they've gone to Europe. Those are the only highlight packages you'll see. So, for example, he played for AS Vita. You barely see his league. You know, in his leagues and cups in DRC, you don't see those games in his highlights package. What you see is CAF Confederation. So that's why I don't even know what the guy's true stats are. What if he has almost 40 goals or 50 goals in his career? We don't know, because there's just not enough records coming from these other African countries. So that's why I'm saying I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I know his highlight packages are limited to CAF Confederation, and now when he went to Al Hilal and France. Those are the only people who actually captured his highlights. And in those highlights, it only shows 64 games. And I'm telling you, 64 games is not enough for someone who is 28 years old. I doubt he's close to his 64. Maybe he's even in his whole career, he's closer to 200 games played. But we only have data on 64. And in those 64, he's already scored more than 10 goals and something like that. But anyway, that's why I'm like, let's wait and see. And another thing I wanted to say about him is, we've seen what Saile is, but maybe he will be a better version of Saile. More composed, knows what to do. Because the one thing I will say about the PSL that a lot of people don't know is the PSL players are not that good. They are not that good sometimes. We love our South African players, but they're not that good. If you want to understand what I mean, just watch what Serino did, like how Serino changes the game. Not even doing too much. Serino doesn't do too much, but the way he just controls and plays with the ball and moves around, it almost seems like he has just too much time on his hand. But anyway, the last player we have that was announced is Tashi Morris. Now, this one is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to say something, and it may be false, and yeah, maybe one day I'll get corrected. I believe this player, Tashi Morris, was actually recommended by Terra Maliwa. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, so sugelu Terra. But this is what I'm saying. Terra used to do youth scouting for AX Cape Town. And I think during the times when he used to do this youth scouting, I think he was one of the people who either was around AX when Tashi arrived or even scouted Tashi Morris. And the reason I'm saying that is because out of all the players that were at Supersport United. We went for this guy. And I am of the belief that this guy probably, our Terra gave a report on what he has experienced at youth level and Cape Town City, Sikukune, and what he delivers. And then Terra came to the conclusion to be like, look, for what you want Ranga to do that Ranga is failing to do, this guy can definitely do it. Why? This guy is good with heading the ball, Ranga is not. This guy is good at his feet, Ranga is not. This guy has pace, Ranga is not. Meaning that he will not score you goals, he won't score you like 15 goals and stuff like that. But the output, the people he will be able to set up because he's comfortable in terms of his football technique. He can trap, unlike Ranga. Those things that you guys want out of a center forward striker. He has it. He has a lethal shot. He has technique. He has all these things that you guys want in a striker. So I think he will actually benefit you, Nabi, in what you want, since we cannot get your Fiston Mayel and all of those players. Since we can't get those exceptional strikers, let's just get someone who can at least do the job you want to come from a center forward, even if it doesn't come with 100 goals. Because if Nabi brings Tashi Morris and Tashi Morris scores 6 to 8 goals for Chiefs a season, which is not great, but let's just say he scores 6 to 8 goals in the league for Chiefs a season, I think it wouldn't be a bad contribution if your wingers, your left wing, your right wing, Abo Serino and stuff, are also scoring 6 to 8 goals in a season. When you put all of these guys' numbers together and your attackers are giving you close to 30 to 50 goals, then you can already see that you are going in the right direction. And that time we're not even talking about the defenders with set pieces, etc. We're just talking about the attackers. Obviously, we want more goals. We want a top goal scorer. But currently, you have to pay a lot of money to get that. And there isn't someone who is freely available and easy to get. Because all of those Michael Olunga, Fiston Mayela, these top strikers, they're going to break the bank. You need to break the bank to get them. Because number one, you have to buy them from their club. Number two, you have to pay them lots of money. I think a lot of you guys, anyone who has been listening to this channel for a long time will know that I want Robert Poliveca. That is my striker. I think it's from Slovenia or Slovakia. That is the striker I want. Amakhosi for life.